Welcome to Lily Building Company, Building the Future, Repairing the Past, episode number 2. Good morning, it's Monday, start of a fresh week, back at Project Mania. Remember last time we were here with my wobbly bit of drone footage, Charlie and the boys were just finishing getting the roof covering on this project. We've got some more good news, and that is that this gas main is being removed this week. There's a new gas box for the meter going on here. Ben, our plumber, is going to come and get the pipe work through the annex building and into the main part of the house. Got a team of 2 on site today, having a good old clean up and a tidy up on the outside, meaning that it's nice and clean and tidy for our client and their fit out team to crack on with the inside. So let's take a trip down to the south of the county and we're going to go to Project West. Let's take a look. Welcome back to Project West. Not been here for a couple of weeks, but you will remember in episode number 1 we were getting ready for pouring the foundations. We did pour the foundations and there's been a lot of progress since. So let's go and take a look. So the teams worked really hard on this one. We were successful in getting the foundations in exactly as we wanted and needed them. We then progressed with getting the steel frame up, with getting brickwork up to DPC, pouring the oversight, getting a bit of block work in, getting a bit of brickwork up as well. And then we had the weather coming. Now it is England, it is winter and it is bloody cold. So we've not stood them down, they're cracking on with stuff inside, but just to go into this one with a little bit more detail, we've got brickwork, external structure, 150mm cavity, internal block work. On here we're going to have underfloor heating system going, big old sandwich of insulation. This will be a set of bifold doors. We've got a set of bifold doors going in there. We've got a fixed frame glazing system going in there. There's 2 gables here, got a box gutter going through this middle to make a really nice, light, bright, open plan room. Massive fan of this type of design. We love doing these extensions. They're a real staple of the type of projects that we do. Now, a few things that are a little bit difficult. We've got a living client. We've got 2 steels to put in the back here because both of these doorways get opened up. That room there gets renovated. There's a utility room to go in as well. Kitchen gets remodeled, which we're going to go inside and take a look in a minute. But the really complicated thing on this one is the drainage. Now, there's no drainage at the back of this house. So, a couple of options. One of them was to take paving up, down each side and link the drainage systems in. What we're actually going for is we're putting a drainage tank in here, which will basically take all of the rainwater from the roof there. Now, I mentioned before that the A50's right over there, and this development was built on old farmland, so the water table and the clay table is really high, which means when it rains, this garden floods. We've got a load of eco drains to go in, and then those eco drains and our rainwater down pipes from the existing roof and the new roof are going to link into this big old 1,000-litre drainage tank that's going in here. So let's go and take a look now at what we're doing on the inside. So we do have people that work for us. However, as soon as that camera comes out, they all disappear. So everyone's run for cover and gone for a bit of lunch, but Project West internal. So kitchen gets remodeled, it's been ripped out. There was a wall in place here that's been removed. Now the beauty of bungalows, or the thing that I love most about bungalows, is you've not got to consider that floor above. So the majority of the walls in this building aren't load bearing and structural because of the way that the joist timbers and the roof timbers go. So it's meant they've got no steels in there. So yesterday that wall came out, that window gets infilled, that door gets infilled. The kitchen then wraps around into that location here. And there's a beautiful little kind of hiding sliding door arrangement over there, which is around where the fridge freezer is going to go. They're having a two-way log burner. Now I love these for getting heat through into both rooms, and also from a visual point of view, they just look great. So we've got a lintel to go in there. The log burner gets switched over for a double-sided. The utility room then gets squeezed over into here. Now we've got a doorway that gets cut into there, which gives us access through. Stud walls have been built already. Now the reason for OSB in this is because there's floor and wall cabs going in, we need to be able to fix them back adequately. So that's going to act dual purpose, because where those steels go in the back of the house, this has already given us that little bit of division from outside to inside. So we've got the plumber and the electricians in early next week to start getting this first fixed, and then we'll be ready to plaster, get this utility room fitted, because we've got quite a tight deadline for the kitchen landing. And fast forward over to Project Cottage. The journey between these two projects is beautiful. Even on a damp, dismal February day, the sheep are still smiling from ear to ear. Good morning, welcome to Project Cottage. The lads have been here for a couple of weeks, first time that we've been down and filmed. Bit of a fast track project, started this a couple of weeks ago and the lads have really hammered it home. But it's Britain, it's cold, it's fucking freezing actually, and we've got a snow bomb on its way. So let's take a little look inside at what's going on. Bit of a different spec on this one. It's passive house spec, which means that we are thermally upgrading the inside with IWI, which is internal wood insulation. It's like a sandwich spec that we put in for timber, breather membrane, insulation, plasterboard, plaster, etc. But pads in for an air source heat pump going in. New subcontractor working with us on that one, which I'm really excited about. Eventually, the client will be putting EWI, which is an external insulation, will go on there, and then the property gets re-rendered, but it's not part of this phase of works. Are you ready? Because this one's going to be interesting. So first thing, kitchen is out. Ceilings are down. Sparkies are in first fixing. Possibly hiding upstairs. Come on through. Steelwork's been installed above. This was 2 rooms. There was a doorway through here. We knocked that doorway out, put foundations in, built that new blockwork to hold that piece of steel in place. There's a little dwarf door that's gone in here because the new hot water cylinder is going in there with the buffer vessel. In here, all of the floors are coming out. We've got a pretty deep excavation. The boys are in cracking on. I bet they're happy to be inside rather than outside, although I'm not sure whether it's colder in here or out there. Got a pretty deep dig on this. I think the excavation is about 580 mil. So in my height, that's about here. In a normal person's height, it's around about there, because I am a bit vertically challenged as well. But a hell of a lot going on. You'll see we've got loads of spaghetti cabling upstairs. Again, that needs to be pulled out and put back in place, all upgraded. The insulation, I was talking about the IWI on this one's really interesting because it's not all in full. So essentially it's on the areas which are completely external, and then we get a little bit of a blanket return. It's been good fun procuring that. Jacob, who's our assistant QS, has been working pretty hard with our supplier to get those products, and I think that we've placed the order for those this morning, or we're pretty near on it. Although the project's been priced already based on that, it is the start of a new year, so as always the suppliers after Christmas like to inflate their costs. The other thing we've got going on in here as well is there is a vent and extract system going in, an MVHR system that goes in. So that's going to go in essentially because we're sealing all this building up and putting the IWI in and putting aerogel into the reveals. The windows get replaced. It's going to be a super tight, airtight building. We need to put a vent and extract system in because it is a period property, which means on the front of the building there's no cavity. On the back of it there isn't, but the little bit where that air source heat pump in is existing, and then above it there was a newly built extension which is on top, which is cavity construction. So there's a bit of all sorts going on. A lot changes down here, but not a lot changes upstairs. So let's go and have a look what the Sparkies are up to up there.
See that, but watch it, it's not like that. You know the 60 mil stuff?
Possibly, but it won't be 60 mil, but he's not giving us a spare bit.
See on here, it's got 60 mil, but do you know what's here?
Yeah.
You need 20 mil.
20. So in my head I think like it's 20 on. So because we're upgrading the insulation value on these perimeter walls, we've got to extend the cabling through for the sockets, for the light switches, etc. So young Reese from PLP is in today to start those works, because once we've got this upper floor first fixed, we can start getting the plastering going on. It's a very similar story next door. A bit close in there for seeing my wrinkles. And here's a very similar story. So this external wall also gets upgraded. The makeup on these windows is pretty special because I should have showed you this next door, but I'll talk you through it. When these originally would have been a sash window, they've actually left the timber sash box in. So they've put the UPVC windows into the timber sash box, which means it wasn't something we was expecting to find, and now we've got to try and retain that timber sash box. Going to be difficult. Luckily, the architect has come up with something pretty genius, I would say, to maintain those timber sash boxes and to work around them as a feature, because you have got a really beautiful original existing arch on the outside, which we're going to take this timber box out and reuse that for window placement. So pretty special indeed. Over the back here, MVHR system going in, so all the ceilings get dropped through this area here. Loft hatch gets moved to allow for the location of the MVHR unit, and everything that's in the loft gets stripped out. And there's a membrane system that goes in, again for airtightness. So walls are going to be airtight. We've got a system that links in around the windows, and then you've got the ceiling above here where you'd have the cold void above. That's completely air sealed as well. It's a really nice system on that, which when we get to that point I'll be a little bit more in depth with, because I've never worked with it before, but it looks pretty cool, so keen to see that go on. Bathroom in here, no one in, that's always a bonus. So again, MVHR system goes in there. That gets dropped because we're taking the boiler out of here, and we're putting an air source heat pump in, and we've got a hot water cylinder in with a buffer vessel. We've got to repipe this bathroom from downstairs, and all of the radiators up here get repiped because through the ground floor there's an underfloor heating system going in, hence why we've got such a substantial dig down there. So let's go back down and see the boys. So you can see that we've got Time Team in here doing this pretty in-depth dig. Loads of puns in that. We've got going down about 580 mil. Luckily, some nice digging in here because it's the old period floor, the original floor construction that's in there. So many can be built up with clay, probably a little bit of shell work in there. The screed is nice and thin. I think the kitchen floor might be a little bit harder, but got a complete underfloor heating system going in here all the way through that back end. And because it's passive house spec, we're not putting in PIR board. We're not putting in the really nasty, horrible polystyrene. The system that goes in, although it's pretty deep, is going to be fantastic. And the idea of that is for our client that his overall energy use and consumption is going to be really, really low. So different spec for us. It's been a really interesting project to price. It's been interesting to price those products and interesting to procure them as well. So really keen to see how this one evolves. Over to Project Duffield to see how they're cracking on there, because the last time I was there with my clunky bit of drone footage, we were pouring the concrete floors, and I believe the joiners are now in there building stud work and getting ready for first fixing the main part of that house. Project Duffield, big moves since we were last here, mainly on this. Hydropool enclosure has been built, it's been roofed in. The fit out on the inside is underway, yet to be completed. We've had a pretty busy time as well. So last time we were here, we were lifting the scaffold. We're now getting up to wall plate, we're actually at lintel height on the superstructure now, so ready to start getting wall plates on, and then roof trusses and the infill delivered. What you've got above these large windows here is there's an infilled gable on each one, so they'll have a flat ceiling on the inside, and then that one that's over there up on that side will be a set of sliding doors with a glass gable at the top with a little Juliet balcony. So the middle section is cladded with a composite cladding, and then the two sides are rendered with a silicone render, and then all around the front is brickwork. So a lot's happened. I've got a really nice cheeky wobbly bit of staple drone footage to add in from when we poured the floors inside last week. So let's go and take a look inside. So big changes here. First being this concrete floor was poured last week. Now you might think, because there's no doors and windows in, that was pretty early. However, as always, program is tight. We've got a hell of a lot of stuff that happens post pour as well. So I'm stood in what's going to be one of the sitting rooms, or the main sitting room on the ground floor, the main living area. Behind this stud wall, it's going to be a music room. Just imagine that in there, vinyl player in there, some vinyl records, sat with probably herbal tea for me, listen to your records and stuff like that. Obviously the windows get replaced, and then first fix electrics, plumbing, plastering, heating systems go in. Through here, and this is probably my favourite room, real big old space in here. So this is an open plan kitchen diner. That opening here, there's a set of sliding doors to go in there, glazed sliding doors, so they're going to look amazing when you come through. Got big old kitchen here with what I would imagine will be a nice big dining room table, big kitchen island here, appliances stacked out on that wall, and again the garden here is just beautiful, so clients can have a really nice view in that back garden. There's a patio to put out here, there's patios to go up the garden, lots of stuff going on. The joiners are in this week as well, so again I think they've ran off actually, now the camera's out, but getting stud walls up in here for, this is going to be a utility room, got a plant room going in there. This will be a pantry, I believe, that's being put into there. And then through here, garage workshop, couple of steps down into there. And again, we've got flat roof to go on that front, steel to go in above the garage door, but that's going to be great, useful workspace in there as well. So like a real bit of hobby space. We've got to upgrade the electrics on this one, so we've got 3-phase electrics coming in, mainly because of the hydro pool over there, but also there's a hell of a lot of kit that's going in this house. So once we've got doors and windows in a couple of weeks, we'll start first fixing that. So we've got going in gas boiler, woo, but really good for the EPC rating and for the A rating on our side. We're going to have new water main coming in, new electric main coming in. Because of the size of the heating system and of the hot water system as well, there's going to be a couple of big old cylinders in, but you can see now young Lewis has started to set out these stud walls on the bottom there, that it's going to be a real big old plant room. But as said, a lot of kits go in there. Into this beautiful utility room, again stacked out, just such a great space. The design on this is beautiful, so I'm really pleased that we get the opportunity to work on such lovely properties for such lovely clients and architects and structural engineers and everything like that. Got a little boot room going in here, so again there's going to be a really nice functional space in here, lots of room. Can you imagine some real nice shelving going in there, some enclosed units with doors on. I think I know just the man for that, Mr. Adam, the joiner. Going to take it upstairs and we'll just show you around the first floor, but I'm going to get the lads to turn the radio down because I'm not convinced that their taste in music is always the best. So in here is bedroom 1 of 5. Can't remember what number this is, but again our client is going for some built-in wardrobe space here, which is why we've ply lined this wall, or we've OSB lined that wall. Again, I know just the man for the joinery that can create some really beautiful storage space in here for our clients. So that's one bedroom. Over through here at the back, that's where the brickies are. Got another bedroom in here. Great big old open space. And these 2 bedrooms get served by their own bathroom. This one through here, again, we've got bedroom on this section and got an ensuite bathroom going there. You might ask why we've been so early in getting these stud walls up, and the main reason is as soon as we've got those knock-throughs done on the back, we want to start getting the first and second fix in through here, and as soon as that roof's on. So with stripping this out and putting the stud walls in, we've gained about 7-8 weeks worth of programme time front end. So is it the right decision? I think it is, and our client's happy too. Laundry cupboard, big old set of doors going in here. Again, looking at some heating and drying system in there to be able to dry towels out, store linen in there, stuff like that. So some pretty funky stuff. Again, another bedroom in here with a lovely ensuite. All of these ensuites are exactly the same size. Similar layout, but our client is changing the kit they have in each one. So different colour vanity units, tiling, floor coverings, things like that, which is really nice. This is going to be the main bathroom in here. So got bath going in, closed couple toilet, vanity unit with a sink and shower tray as well. So I think we squeeze everything into there. These have been designed, so we're keen again to start getting these first fixed pretty soon. Over into here. This is our master bedroom. So this at the back here is a bathroom. And then as it comes around into this section here, we've then got master bedroom up here with this amazing, what will be a stunning view out over these open gardens at the back there. So it's one of my favourite sites to come to and appreciate the birds singing. And even the noise of the road's really nice, but it's lovely to come, and some real good progress here the last few weeks. We're meeting this week to discuss the landscaping because we've started it and then they've gone to a landscape architect who's given them some visuals. So again, as I mentioned earlier, there's a couple of extra patios to go in, seating areas, a garden room, a storage shed and stuff outside. So still a long way to go here, but we are really getting towards that point now where we can see it coming together. I think the roof's due out for delivery later this week. So again, we'll be excited and keen to start getting the truss sections through. And then we've got a steel frame to go above here with a crank beam on and a ridge beam to pick up this open vaulted roof. Ridge beam sits on this nice 6-inch block wall. So great to be here, great to see this come together. I need to go and see the team. Let's go over and have a look at one of our almost finished projects over in Belper. So welcome to Belper, to one of our extension projects that's very, very nearly finished. And those that follow us on Instagram will know that this featured pretty heavily through the summer of last year. There was a garage here before. We knocked that garage down and we've made way for this fantastic kitchen extension. Within that kitchen extension as well, we've included a bedroom, an ensuite bathroom and some storage here. We've worked with this client a few times before and they are a great client, and it's really good to get repeat business. I hear on the grapevine that they're also thinking about building a double garage because they've now seen that they need that as well. It's been a great project. We've been away from site for quite a while. I'm going to explain when we go inside, but I love coming back. We were back a couple of weeks ago to add these eco drains in there. As always with build, we used the main brunt of the client's project for the structure fit out works and didn't have considerations for the outside. Now there is a significant level difference, as you can see here, with what they've got on the lawn level. So for sign off by building control, we have put this temporary path in, put these eco drains in, with a view in a few weeks or a few months time to extend that path down the side and then around the back there as well. But I'm sure as we go inside and we look at the views out of this garden that you will understand how and why this project's been put together. It's also a D&B for us, so it was our own architectural design team that was used. We have a few different structural engineers that we use in the area. So again, structural engineer, because it's quite a big knock through on the inside. So let's have a little look on the inside and I'll talk you through the finishing details. We first decided to do a YouTube channel. We wanted to be authentic, open, honest about construction, about us as a business, about things that go really, really right and things that go really, really wrong. And it happens, whether it's a program thing, it might be a financial thing, it might be a product thing, it might be whatever. And this project really is testament to that. So going right back to when we first demolished the garage, which was around about here, started here, we designed this originally with this wall still in, with a utility room tucked behind it, and then what I'll show you in the other side, it just didn't work spatially. So the decision was made to knock this opening out, to move the incoming electric mains and board right over into the storeroom over the other side, and then rejig the space to suit the client's needs. One thing that we didn't realise during the design process is the DPC, the damp proof course of this existing build, is midway through the height of the brick. So when we installed our block and beam floor, which is here, because you've got such a level difference, it meant that our screed had to be a deeper screed. So product that we normally use is a gypsum screed. We had the option to go for quick drying, and we thought, well, by the time we're finished and the client goes to install their floor, it will be dry. And under normal circumstances, on a 50 to 60 mil screed, it would have been. However, the screed on this floor, in some areas, because you always get a little bit of curvature over the span of block and beam, it's over 100 mil thick. So it is drying out, but it's drying out very slowly. Luckily, the screed company that we work with for this and the floor laying company, I've got really good close relationships with them. We've had a lot of conversation over the past few weeks as to when can we lay the floor, when can't we lay the floor. this hygrometer's been installed. This flooring here is more or less ready. I've literally just popped up to take this hygrometer out, clean it down, and then we're going to put it back in because we think that there's actually some moisture on here behind the cup because it's been in for a few weeks. So we've taken that out, going to let it come to room humidity and then reinstall it, give it 4 hours, note down the readings, and then take them to the floor layer and the screed provider and see what their thoughts are. But as I mentioned, we've worked for this client quite a few times. They are great. We love repeat business, and they know what they're getting and we know what we're getting as well. So going through the build, in here, the smallest and cutest utility room that you will ever see with PIR. So we've done double stack appliances, a little bit of racking in there. We've got some space in here for racking as well. It's meant it's really functional for our client without using or losing too much kitchen space. Kitchen through here, it's Howden's kitchen. Finish is really, really nice. Again, provided and installed by our teams. Lots and lots of worktop space, and it's always difficult to lay out and to work out how it's going to work with a squint or a dog leg. Square rooms, dead easy. But why would we make it easy? Let's go for squint. So follow me through here, and I'm going to take you through into the other side of the space. So this will be bedroom. This is going to be carpeted. So the issue with that screed in here is irrelevant. Really interestingly, over in the bathroom, that floor was actually dry enough. So we've now laid this floor last week, finished off the bathroom, and the carpet is being laid in here on Saturday. The majestic and wonderful part that I was talking about for this project, from this way, on the wall, is this view out the back. And from a aesthetic point of view, although it's peeing down with raining bulb today, that garden view is just something else. Good morning team, fresh into a brand new day, and what a wonderful day it is. Although it's very, very cold, -4, you have to feel sorry for everyone and anyone that's in the construction industry this time of year. You've just had a couple of weeks off work, spent a load of money on presents for friends and family. You might have been away on holiday, you might have had it over in this country, but however, we're back into work. We're in that really cold snap, that really cold phase where, again, you're going to be potentially losing a little bit of money, and the bills don't stop. I feel sorry for us as a business and other businesses out there, because your prelims don't stop, your overheads don't stop. Those bits are still in place and we still have to pay them. That said, I'm weirdly grateful for all of the small things, one of them being this wonderful sunrise that we've got this morning, and the projects that we have got live and the people that are working on them. Things are looking great, even for this time of year, which is a positive time of year. I mean, again, I love the start of a new year. It's a bit like a fresh notebook. That who doesn't love starting a new notebook and the smell of fresh pages? Anyway, I'm ranting. So I'm on my way to HQ. I'm going to do something a little bit different for this one, and I hope that you're enjoying the episode so far. But grab yourselves a cup of tea, because I'm going to talk through policies, procedures, and accreditations. 3 things that I am also really passionate about. I come from a main contractor background, and that main contractor background is very much embedded in my brain. So how we price things, how we deliver things, how we procure things, the policies and procedures, stuff that we have in place to keep our business safe, to keep our employees safe, and to keep our clients safe as well. So pull up a pew, grab a cup of tea, let's talk policy and procedure. So policies, procedures and paperwork, we've got a real abundance of all those, and I think that that's one thing that really sets us apart. Recently we obtained Construction Line Gold, which I'm going to talk about later in the episode, but something that you certainly can't BS your way through, things like Federation of Master Builders and Construction Line especially, so I'll deep dive into that. So policies, procedures, paperwork, we have got a shed load of that. I'm very grateful that we've got a team in the office and the site teams that will look after and manage all of that process. When we first set up, nearly 6 years ago, we used to use one of these folders, and we labelled this the magic green folder, because this literally had everything for the mechanics of a site, split in 7 sections. We used to have our tender and pricing information, design and spec, all of our health and safety, site records, including QA, snagging, diary, QS stuff, program progress meetings, and then the final section was a miscellaneous. So we'd put build regs things in there, as-built, O&Ms, policies, templates, etc. We've got to a point where we've now outgrown that, and with our new system, 16 policies, and that's right from how we take in new hires with HR to estimating. So whether it's myself, Jay or Danny that are estimating the project, then there's a policy that we follow that. So basically we all know exactly what each of us doing, and if one of us has to pick something up, it gets uploaded to the portal, and then we drag off the portal system, and anyone can work on that and re-upload it. We've got over 100 different procedures so far, and I'm sure there'll be more of them as well, which means our total documents, we have over 700 documents. Now, most of our clients and most of our staff will never see all of them, but they're in place for things that we need for behind the scenes and the mechanics of the project, what they need on the project and what they need at the back end of that project as well. So those 700 documents just became unmanageable for the magic green folder. So we've taken everything to an online system, which I'm really grateful for, and it works really, really well. And it means that on every single project, if there's a design change, a cost change, a program change, the moment that it's signed off and we've got a variation signed off, or a CVI or a CVO or whatever it may be, because different projects have different contracts. If we're working for a commercial company, that'll be one type of contract, and then domestic's different. And again, sometimes we work on REBA contract with certain architects. It means that the process on our side is the same. So if it's a cost change or a program change and a variation or CVI gets signed off, that with all the supporting document gets uploaded to our portal system, and it's an instant update to our site staff. So we're not trying to find things in a folder that may exist or may not exist, or that have been taken out, left out in the rain or the snow, or buried or whatever, that it's in and it's an instant online update, which for us we found works really, really well. Since we've implemented that, we've managed to maintain program time much better, and the actual quality of our product overall, we feel, has gone up, and that's something that we're really grateful for. It means that, again, when I go and visit a site, that I haven't got to rummage through that. I can work off my iPad and I can find exactly what I need and what the lads need as well. So even marked up drawings we'll scan in and we'll add them in, because sometimes we don't always get finishing details for the electrics and the plumbing, and sockets move and radiators move and stuff like that. Sometimes we only first fix, and it might be a kitchen company that comes and fits out the kitchen or the bathroom or the utility room. So again, we can share that with them. And I'm really proud, coming from a main contractor background, the one thing that I hate is to be disorganised, delayed, and not having our client feel like they're updated and they've got the information. The client side of this policy and procedures section is much more reduced and much more streamlined, and they only have access to what they need to have access to. So again, I'm sure that some of our clients don't really mind or don't really care how often we're doing toolbox talks. They just want to know that they're being done, and part of our quality compliance is to make sure that we're looking after all of those sections. Again, weekly meetings, we'll sit through the weekly meetings, and they're done on a template. That template's uploaded to our portal system and hits our client's inbox straight away. And there's lots and lots of meetings across the board of our projects at the moment as well. Now over to Project Kings, where we've got practical completion inspection ready for building control to go and do their final sign off. Not been to this project for a couple of weeks, but we are done, decorated, finished. Really pleased with what I've seen so far. So I hope you are too. Let's go and take a look. Project Kings. Project King's completion day. You remember that we were here in episode number 1, but just to recap, it's chickens, by the way, not my flatulence. However, this was a garage before. We took the masonry out the back to make way for these beautiful patio doors to go in. We took the 2 roofs off. There was 2 roofs on this originally. We've taken them both off and we've replaced that with a rubber roof on there as well. Steps have gone in. We've put some eco drains in for future provision for our client. They've got a composite decking section going through there and through here with potential for a hot tub outside in the garden as well. I'm sure the chickens will love that. Let's take a little step inside and I'll just talk you through because decorators have now finished, so we're almost there. So in here, you'll remember that when we came in was pretty much a bare shell and we were just putting this framework in and insulation. That's now complete. Got 100mm insulation that's gone in that wall as well. 100mm PIR within that stud frame, and then we've faced that with a 50mm insulated back plasterboard. It's been plastered. It's been second fixed. It's got these wonderful downlights in here as well. It's been decorated by a decorator. Second fixed joinery is in. We've got this little radiator in here, and we were just talking with the client about insulation values in here. I love doing garage conversions, and they're a real great way to add additional space into your home without extending, and including this will probably be the warmest room in this house. So step this way. We've formed an opening through here, so we put a lintel in, knock the masonry through, and this connects our client into the main part of this house. I believe they're going to use this as a bit of office and breakout space. And then through here into the garage, we've also added in an additional couple of bits. So ceiling's been put back in as part of the roof with insulation in that section there. Flat roof continues all the way through to the front. New window opening again to bring in some additional light. We've done that so it allows our client, if they need to also convert this space at a later date. The door's been positioned where again they can add in the extra insulation that they would need to on both this wall, which is an internal wall, but we know that regs evolve and regs change, and if the regs decide that they're going to measure this space as a single space, they potentially would need to insulate this wall as well. Then on the external wall, again, we've got space on there to insulate that wall, thermal upgrade that space, and because we've added the insulation in the floor void on there, that can continue through as well. Now, we did speak about this garage door and how hopefully that would land before Christmas, but as you can still see, the client's still waiting for that to come. But very happy builder, very happy client, hopefully very happy building control, and then we can get this one signed off for our client and get them moved in, because I believe the carpets are coming pretty soon. So to conclude episode number 2, I feel like we've really been around the world on this one, all the way from Project Kings, the completion of that amazing garage conversion and re-roof. That flat roof is absolutely seamless. The lads have done an amazing job on there. Down to Project Cottage, couple of weeks in, digging all of that clay and shale out inside to get down to the reduced level dig in there for the insulation build that comes back up. It's a passive house spec project. I've always wanted to do a passive house spec, but we've never had a bite of the cherry before. So for this, I am so grateful for the opportunity and for learning about these products. Forever the student, I'm getting a bit excited about that. So for me, it's a great thing. And I'm really proud of what we've achieved over the course of the last 6 years and going into this year. January is really busy for us in terms of stuff that we've got on, new work coming in. We've signed 3 new projects over the course of this month so far, all big projects. And for YouTube, I don't know where this is going to go. It's very much an episode. There might not be a pattern to it, so if you're hoping to have something that lands repeat on week, unfortunately I can't guarantee that. It might be a bit of an as and when, and equally I don't know whether they're going to do the same thing. We're going to take you around all the projects every week, or we're going to focus on just 1 or 2. Certainly got a project coming up in mind that I really want to do a single episode or a couple of episodes about that project, because it's big, it's complicated, it's definitely a Lily building project. So I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.